Gotcha. That was a fun conversation. Looking forward to clipping that one. We move on to the other game on divisional round, divisional weekend on Sunday. The Kansas City Chiefs defeats the Cleveland Browns 22-17. Takeaways. Don't let's not go in too much in depth to the Chiefs. They ball, but we're gonna talk about them when we preview the conference championship game. But the Cleveland Browns, man, no Odell. Injuries on the back end. Stefanski back, likely coach of the year. I think they finally got their quarterback, they got their coach, and I think they up to something next year. They might come back because they now feel like they can compete with the Chiefs on losing by 5. Guys, what are your guys' takeaways? Anybody can go. And I'll start with Jalen. I'll go to Mom. You got it.
I'll say Cleveland is only going to get better. The Jets blunder away from being 13-3, and I like them to do more damage with a home playoff game than the Steelers did, of course, with Cleveland beating them the way they did. So Cleveland is only going to get better. Now the Ravens are only going to get better, so that's really going to still be interesting for me to see. I think the Steelers will take a step back, and those two teams will be fighting for a division supremacy. But I will say I think Cleveland has the abundance of playmakers to make some noise in the AFC. I think they're another defensive piece away from being a good defense because right now I believe against elite quarterback play without Myles Garrett, and if Myles Garrett is off the field, I mean, Denzel Ward on Travis Kelce, it's really not fair. But, like, what else are you supposed to do? Denzel Ward's your best corner. You got to put him up. Like, you got to find something to try to do, but the Chiefs are a walking mismatch. So they're going to be tough for anybody. But for Cleveland, they obviously miss Odell and his big playability. It'd be interesting to see how he comes back next year and the approach because you can't lie. Baker did ball with him gone. So do you look at that and maybe try to get some defensive pieces for Odell? Because I believe it, and maybe some offensive coaches around the league believe Odell is still a superstar. I think he could be a superstar with the right offense. Maybe somewhere Eric Bieniemy ends up. Maybe the Jags go get him for a Trevor Lawrence weapon. They get Josh Allen, something like that. You feel me? I think you get a good situation for Odell, or you bring him back and you run it back. So, but I think Cleveland's only going to get better. They just need to build, and
they got
those
valuable playoff experience.
Huh?
I said they got valuable playoff experience.
Right, and then they'll get guys who've won before. They'll get Grant Delpit and Greedy, and they're going to get some guys back from injuries and run it back.
Before I turn it,
they only going to get better.
Before I give it to anybody else, Demond, we seen it last year when the Bills played Texans last year and they lost in the playoffs, and Josh Allen had tremendous growth the next season. Does Baker do the same?
I ain't gonna say that because I'm already talking about Josh Allen being an MVP candidate, like number 2. So I ain't gonna say all that, but I do believe if Kevin Stefanski and that offense takes a step in the direction, it won't be because of Baker. Unfortunately, because Baker has something that Josh Allen doesn't have. Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt in the back. They need 17 to 24 carries minimum, like between the both of them. So, I mean, you got to run the ball, and that's a big reason for their success, their offensive line as well. But the things Baker does off play action, honestly, people made the comparisons, and I was like, at first. But, like, you can see a little bit of Russell Wilson in Baker's game, like the undersized. And he doesn't have, like this year, you had Jarvis, and Russ had, like, Doug Baldwin. But when he gets Odell back, I mean, I think he could take a major step. But I wouldn't say as big as Josh Allen, no, because Josh Allen on one right now.
I think the Browns need Odell, but I don't think they need to force Odell the ball. If that makes sense. Like, I feel like when he was forcing it to Odell, he played bad, and that kind of made the offense suffer. Whereas, and Chubb was out too for that time.
Yeah.
So if they actually just run the offense and people don't be pressed about their numbers, everybody eat, I think they'll have a way better team.
Now let me ask y'all. First round pick, where do they go? Because I said defense, but think about them with like another number 3. You talking about everybody eat. They got the tight ends, they got the running backs. You give Baker another weapon.
I think they like Rashad Higgins. And he didn't play bad. He didn't look bad to
I'm
me.
saying somebody like Jalen Waddle's on the board, or
I
I
gotta see
don't
the
think,
ankle first.
but
I gotta see
they
the ankle
picked like
first.
20 something in the 20s. I mean, you could be greedy and go offense, but I think I go secondary for sure. A safety or another corner
well, I understand the aspect of defense, and I said this. That was my point.
or linebacker, like a Dylan Moses, a middle
I can
linebacker.
see that.
You can get him late. You can get him late because one thing about Dylan Moses is bad in coverage, so you don't need a first round pick on Dylan Moses.
And that's what I'm saying. You gotta
Browns have
score
pick
points.
26. Pick 26.
You gotta score
And
points.
Dylan Moses is like a third round pick, so Dylan Moses is a good pickup. But I think you can get him not a first round.
I really didn't, I don't know too many linebackers in this class. That was the first one that came to mind. So whoever the best
Okay, my bad.
coverage,
Yeah, no, he's
whoever
a
the best
good
coverage
prospect.
linebacker is, though, I for sure think that's not a bad move at all. But this draft is really kind of low key deep at corner because there's gonna be a lot of sleepers, people that opted out, people that might fall.
It's
So you
also
can
deep in receivers, Demond. So I don't think I know what you're saying. Get like a wide
top three, one
break
of the
it
top
open.
three.
Yeah, but you can also find great value in the second round. All these upcoming receivers that we see in training camp, working preseason, I think you can definitely find one in later rounds as well.
I want to be like honestly, would you be mad at the Browns start Earl Thomas just for 2 years, just to see what he can bring to the team, just to build someone up like Grant?
I like it.
I think they passed the point. If they wanted him, they would have got him.
Yeah, I think the ship is sailed on Earl.
I think after what the Raven situation did, as long as what the media was perpetuating about him, the offseason issues, I think teams don't want him. We seen it when the Texans had interest in him, and all the players were like, "No, we don't want him." So I think his time in the NFL is done, unfortunately. But anything's happening. It's the NFL, man.
I think Grant gonna be ready. He should be.
Yeah,
Is it my turn about the
we
game?
got Grant Greedy, all them people. Oh, what you said?
Oh yeah, you got it.
Oh, I'm not sure. My turn?
Yeah.
I just want to first say I'm publicly wrong. I do want to admit that I was wrong. The Browns played a lot better than what I suspected. You know what I'm saying? They did. They played a lot better. And I think one thing I want to say about the Chiefs is a small thing. I think Chris Jones is very underrated for the simple fact his versatility is very elite. He's a 6'6", 320 lineman. I've seen literally drop back in coverage and literally played a good zone, not just drop back and just stand there. He actually plays zone, and he was able to pass the rusher within the same series. I just want to say that with the Chiefs. And then I think the Browns can really dominate the division if they were able to literally run the offense with Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt. Right? I watched Nick Chubb at Georgia, and one of the biggest things, the reason why his success was so good, because he had Sonny Michel next to him, and they were able to literally feed off different carries and have the defense to adjust different running backs. Because, anybody who played D-line or like the front seven, they know it's hard to, when you have to face someone, you have to worry about outrunning you, and then someone come down and just truck you. It's a big difference. So, having someone like Nick Chubb who's a power back and Kareem Hunt who's also a power back, but he can get loose and vice versa, I feel like if they're able to make that switch and allow Baker to become like I guess West Coast offense is the type of offense, I guess, where the run opens up, saying intermediate passes, like crosses that Jarvis is very elite at. Something like that. I feel like they can be, a consistent 11 plus win team. If they're able to do that, but I feel like the biggest thing is that I think it's an ego thing where how do you pick a quarterback number one overall and he not be the centerpiece of your team? You know what I'm saying? I feel like that's a big thing. But I feel like if they're able to literally just run through Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt and to keep Kareem Hunt, I feel like he earned an extension, earned another contract, but you never know. You know what I'm saying? It's a money thing.
I think he under 2 years.
Oh, he signed long? He signed longer?
He signed 2
okay, so okay, bet. So if he's able to stay healthy and he's able to stay out of trouble, I hate to bring it up, but if Kareem Hunt can stay out of trouble and Nick Chubb also stay healthy too, I feel like, that opens up a lot. And I ain't gonna lie, I would trade Odell. But I gotta see the ankle first. I gotta see how he plays. Not ankle, how he runs off his leg. I feel like Odell has tremendous value at the end of the season. He's 27, 28. Anybody at his age, was he 27?
Like 26.
26, 27. Route running is always going to be elite. It's something you never lose. It might be different breaks, but
28.
He's 28.
Yeah, he's 28. Birthday November.
Still young is okay. So route running, if it's still there, it's always going to be value. Route runners last long in the league because if you can get open, you can play. It's as simple as that. So if he can stay healthy and able to get peace for him, I do like another safety. I do like the linebackers though. I like Mac Wilson a lot. I watched him a lot in college. He's very athletic. He can blitz. He can drop back in coverage. His athletic ability is literally throughout the from above the out the roof. Like guys athletic freak. But if they can get a good strong safety. I know they got Carl Joseph, but he was getting fried. I ain't gonna lie, he was getting toasted. Yeah, I like him a lot. I watched him with Virginia. He's a good player, but he just he's one of those things he can't cover at all. So yeah, but I feel like they're one more DB from solidifying themselves as a team that's always gonna be there. You know what I'm saying? There's teams that before the year where you feel like you just know they're gonna be there. They just need one more good DB, one more solid DB, and they'll be one of those teams.
Gotcha, JB, and we welcome in my boy Jace. You got any takeaways from this Cleveland Browns matchup?
Yeah, man, I was impressed on how they fought. You know what I'm saying? They came out and fought hard to the end. I understand the touchback rule, but at the same time, it's just like you hate to see teams lose games off a touchback rule. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, they fought. I thought they had a little chance now when Mahomes went down. I was like, looks like the Bills going to because there's no way they would have beat the Bills. But I feel like Cleveland's just like a few pieces away, like Fab said. You know what I'm saying? They just need like a little solid cornerback or whatever that missing piece is, and then they'll be right there.
The touchback rule, I seen there was a controversy on that on the social media waves. I think I'm in a minority here that's okay with that rule.
I'm okay with it too. I just think the biggest thing,
rule.
I don't care about it. I think the big thing was the head-to-head. That was part of the thing that needs to be reviewable.
Yeah. I think that should be reviewable. Like colleges.
But I don't agree with colleges. That's one thing. I don't agree with colleges kicking players.
Yeah, I don't like they throw them out. They shouldn't throw them out for it, no.
I understand, because, for instance, I think, I'm not sure you remember, there was a game 2 years ago. It was a senior. I think it was not such a game. It was a senior. He had a targeting. Oh, it was Clemson.
Yeah,
linebacker had a targeting call first drive. Targeting call got confirmed. He missed the whole game. Last game, senior year, national championship game. You know what I'm saying? It's a pretty big deal, and you get called out for simply. At the end of the day, it's football. You know what I'm saying? It's football. Try to make it safe. I understand that, but at the end of the day, it's football. Of course, concussion is a big protocol, but a helmet is going to happen at least twice every game. You know what I'm saying? It's natural. It's you die for it, and I died for it as well, trying to play for the ball. Our helmet's going to hit sometimes, and happen naturally. You know what I'm saying? But I don't agree with kicking players out. I agree with being reviewable, though. That's a big thing, but I don't agree with if you get confirmed, you're out for the whole game.
I think college still a little bit more advanced than the NFL when it comes to certain rules, but the NFL got them.
No, I was talking about like NFL should adopt it, but not
I know.
Out.
But I'm saying the NFL wouldn't throw them out because the NFL you get two anyway before they throw you out. 2-person fouls before they throw you out.
Hey, but they probably get fines, though, right? Is there a fine? They're fine.
You'll get fined.
You gonna get fined.
Ooh.
You gonna get that fine.
Nice.